He was born in blood, crowned a ruler before he could shave, became one of the most terrifying men to ever live. Ivan the Terrible didn't just punish traitors. He hunted entire families. He turned his own kingdom into a prison of fear. He built a secret army dressed in black, mounted on horseback, and let them slaughter entire cities. He once beat his pregnant daughter-in-law until she miscarried, then killed his own son in a fit of rage. And the most twisted part? He believed God told him to do it. You've heard of Vlad the Impaler, Attila the Hun, maybe even Stalin? But Ivan was the original nightmare in what he did during his reign, still echoing through Russia today. This is the real story of Ivan the Terrible, and it's worse than you've ever imagined. If you're into twisted rulers and true historical insanity, hit subscribe. I've got even darker stories coming. And if you want to dive even deeper into the life and rule of Ivan the Terrible, click the link in the description. It helps me keep making these awesome videos. Thank you. He wasn't just born into royalty, he was born into a war zone. The year was 1530. Russia, or Muscovy, as it was called then, was teetering on the edge of collapse. Ivan's father, Grand Prince Vasily III, had finally secured an heir after years of praying, fasting, and threatening to divorce his wife. But just 3 years later, Vasily was dead, leaving little Ivan the most powerful baby in the land, and the most vulnerable. At only 3 years old, Ivan was crowned Grand Prince of Moscow. Make no mistake, he had no power. It belonged to the boyar elite, the ruthless noble families who ruled like mob bosses. They looted the treasury, feuded with each other, and treated Ivan like a pawn. Some days they ignored him completely. Other days they beat him and starved him. He watched his mother, Elena, try to hold power until she was poisoned when he was just 8. Many believe it was the Shuovsky family who killed her. Whoever it was, her death left Ivan completely alone. He grew up in the shadows of the Kremlin, surrounded by gilded churches, armed guards, snakes in velvet robes. He spent his days reading the Bible, studying Byzantine history, and watching his caretakers crush each other for power. He saw corruption everywhere, and he never forgot. At 13, Ivan ordered one of the boyars, Andrei Shuovsky, thrown to wild dogs. No trial, no warning, just teeth. His way of saying, "I'm not your puppet anymore." It was just the beginning. In 1547, at just 16, Ivan crowned himself Tsar. From Caesar, the first Russian ruler to do so. It meant one thing: absolute power. He didn't want to rule Russia. He wanted to own it. The coronation was pure spectacle. Fire, gold, chanting priests, sacred oil on his forehead, and the crown of Monomaque, once reserved for Byzantine emperors, lowered onto his head. In that moment, Ivan wasn't just a ruler. He was chosen by God, and at first, he ruled like one. He launched real reforms. He reorganized the military, cracked down on corrupt nobles, created Russia's first national assembly, the Zemsky Sobor. He married Anastasia Romanovna Kind, beloved, and the only one who ever softened him. For a brief moment, Russia had peace. But peace never lasts long in a country ruled by trauma. In 1553, Ivan grew deathly ill. Paranoid, he begged nobles to swear loyalty to his infant son. Most refused. That betrayal cut deep. Then in 1560, Anastasia died. Poisoned, Ivan claimed. Whether true or not, her death shattered him. The reforms ended. The darkness returned. Whatever good remained in Ivan died with her. Grief twisted into paranoia. Paranoia became terror. In 1565, Ivan abdicated. Russia panicked. Cities rioted. Nobles begged him to return. He agreed. Under one condition, 2 Russias. One, the Zemshina, ruled by nobles. The other, the Oprichnina, ruled by Ivan alone. To enforce it, he created his own death squad. The Oprichniki. Black robes, black horses. A severed dog's head as their symbol. Part monk, part executioner. Their mission: hunt traitors, punish disloyalty, instill fear. And they delivered. Entire families were drowned in frozen rivers. Nobles were stripped, paraded through streets, then beheaded. Monasteries looted, women raped, children slaughtered. Ivan watched it all, sometimes participated. This wasn't about justice. He moved to Alexandrovskaya Sobota, a fortress turned torture palace. Midnight Mass became a code word for executions. Russia wasn't ruled by law anymore, was ruled by Ivan's will, was sharpened into a blade. By the early 1570s, Ivan was seeing enemies everywhere, real or not. His next target, Novgorod, a rich historic city he believed was plotting rebellion. There was no evidence, but that didn't matter. Ivan rode in with the oprichniki like a plague. For 5 weeks, Novgorod burned. Men beaten with iron rods, thousands tied together and drowned under frozen river ice. Priests mutilated on their own altars. Peasants hacked apart in the streets. Up to 60,000 people were murdered. Ivan watched from a monastery tower above. The worst part, he didn't stop from guilt. He stopped because there was nothing left to kill. Novgorod wasn't punished, it was erased. By the late 1570s, Ivan was paranoid, alone, and spiraling. His enemies were now inside his own family. His son, Ivan Ivanovich, was smart, admired, and worst of all, independent. Tension boiled over in 1581. Ivan found his pregnant daughter-in-law, dressed immodestly. He beat her savagely. She miscarried. His son, furious, confronted him, screaming turned to blows. Then Ivan struck his son with an iron-tipped staff. Blood poured. The prince collapsed. Ivan wept and begged for forgiveness, but it was too late. His heir died days later. The one son he respected, gone. His remaining son, Fyodor, was too weak to rule. The bloodline shattered. Russia's future doomed. In 1584, Ivan died mid-game of chess. No glory, no war. Just a broken man collapsing under guilt. But death didn't erase what he'd done. He left behind a ruined kingdom, a shattered dynasty, and a traumatized people. Fyodor became Tsar, weak, sickly, manipulated. Within 15 years, Russia plunged into the time of troubles. Famine, civil war, foreign invasion. Ivan's legacy lived on. His black-cloaked oprichniki became the blueprint for future secret police. His obsession with power echoed through Russian history, from Peter the Great to Stalin. He set the mold, a ruler who claimed divine purpose, but ruled like the devil. So when you hear the name Ivan the Terrible, don't just think of a tyrant with a crown. Think of a boy born in chaos, a man forged by fear, and a ruler who dragged an empire into darkness. He wasn't just terrible by name, he was terrible by nature and by design. While the world remembers Stalin, Hitler, or Mao, Ivan came first, the blueprint, the nightmare that never ended. Thanks for watching. What ruler should I cover next? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget the link in the description if you want to go deeper. Bye.